Ahoy hoy, I'm Planarwalk, and welcome to Flat Earth News, the most reputable show on YouTube since InfoWars was taken down. I wish I had a better intro. So first I want to talk about Elon Musk, and oh boy has it been a month for Elon Musk. So first off, you had Elon Musk going on the Joe Rogan podcast, and you know, while he was there he had some weed, and I have no problem with that. But some people did, particularly the shareholders of Tesla, because the share price of Tesla just dropped after that happened. Now, I personally liked all the memes that came out of it. There were some good memes, but a lot of people were also saying that apparently Elon didn't actually inhale. So, there's that. But when it comes to 420 related stuff in Elon Musk, there was a tweet that Elon Musk made in August which said, considering taking Tesla private at $420. Funding secured. And apparently Elon got in a whole lot of shit for this tweet. So from what I could tell, the share price of Tesla actually went up after Elon Musk made this tweet. But the problem is that the information in the tweet was misleading. So the part of that tweet that was misleading was the funding secured part. So Elon Musk has now had to step down as chairman of Tesla. He is still the CEO, but he is no longer the chairman, and he can't be the chairman of Tesla for 3 more years. Now normally I'd want to ask Flat Earthers what they think of this, but I can no longer do that because I've been banned from the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord. Now I tried to ask why I've been banned from that Discord, but I didn't get an answer, but I can take a guess as to why. Because I went on Nathan Oakley's show, and whilst I was on his show, I noticed that in the chat there were a few of the mods from the Flat Earth Discord, so maybe they kicked me after seeing me on the show. I don't know why, but I feel like that's something that they just decided to do. But after I appeared on the show twice, Sleeping Warrior decided to make a video on me. And by God was the thumbnail genius, just genius. Take a look at that masterpiece. Never had that insult thrown at me before. So let's look at a few of the things that he says, shall we?
Really?
And recently I've been bringing up Cavendish to explain to flat earthers that gravity exists.
Cavendish doesn't explain that gravity exists. Doesn't prove it, doesn't explain it. It's a science fiction bit of story that people like to cite.
To me, this seems like a way of just avoiding addressing it. You know, say, oh, that's not real science, so I don't have to address it. Even though it shows that this phenomenon is clearly happening, so maybe you should address it already so we can move on. I'm no longer applying any force to it, so I'd say the cause of the coin falling to the ground is the force that's acting upon it. And this...
The force that's acting upon a coin that falls to the ground. I think you need to look at the definition of force.
Damn, did I get that wrong? Okay, let me just Google this. Force definition physics. Okay. What is a force? Science definition. In science, force is a push or pull on an object with mass that can cause it to change its velocity to accelerate. Okay, so I did have the right definition of force. What's your definition of force, Riley? And also, notice that cause in there?
The independent variable is your presumed cause, and you're going to test it. That's what science is. So what I've done is I've typed on into Google, and I've typed in independent variable definition, and there are many, and I'm going to give to you a couple that I found.
So here's something that I'm willing to concede here. If you have an experiment and you change the value of the independent variable in it, then that causes a change in the dependent variable. I am willing to concede that. However, Sleeping Warrior also has to concede something. He has to concede that using data that we get from experiments that we can extrapolate out other things like other causes that may be present within the experiment. But if he's not willing to do that, then I want him to come up with a scientific experiment that fits his definition of science to figure out the speed of sound. Can you do that, Sleeping Warrior? But I think I've actually figured out a way to get flat earthers to respond to the Cavendish experiment. I'm not going to call the independent variable mass now. What I'm going to put in the independent variable slot is gravitational force. As noted earlier, force can be a cause. And you may be thinking, oh, you can't change gravitational force, what are you talking about? Yes, you can. particularly using mass. Mass affects gravitational force. Also, distance also affects gravitational force as well. So I hope flat earthers are content with that. I'm trying to play by your rules so that you'll finally address Cavendish. Just fucking address it already, so we can get this over and done with. It would also be nice if people could send this to Sleeping Warrior. That way we could have a one-on-one debate about it. The reason why I don't want to talk about this particular point on Nathan Oakley's show anymore is because I never actually get to finish my point. Anyway, there's plenty of other news stories that I need to talk about, so let's get to them. I need a cool transition for news stories here, don't I? So this next bit is actually kind of a continuation from the last two Flat Earth news videos, which is pretty cool. It makes this kind of like a story. But anyway, after the whole pole-to-pole circumnavigation controversy, Greater Sapien reached out to a YouTuber called Young Blue Skeptic. And the main reason of this was, I'd say, was to give Young Blue Skeptic a shout out. But you know, nothing's ever that simple to flat earthers. So a YouTuber called Flat Earth Perth made a video saying that because Greater Sapien was giving Young Blue Skeptic a shout out, that flat earthers would just flood his comments with hateful comments. And because Young Blue Skeptic is only 14, Flat Earth Perth thought, you know, all these flat earthers going to Young Blue Skeptic's channel is going to make Young Blue Skeptic feel shit and then commit suicide. And then he goes ahead and says that flat earth is an adult's topic, which to me is hilarious. But I thought I should probably ask Young Blue Skeptic himself about the comments that he gets. So I'm here with Young Blue Skeptic. So what sort of comments do you usually get on your channel?
Most of the time it's supportive comments, you know, good videos, you know, the standard. I occasionally get one or two hate comments from side of those copying, pasting that long paragraph saying, oh, if the earth was round, then why this? And then they just show their stupidity, I guess. But apart from that, those are the usual comments I get.
I actually know those sorts of comments where it's just a long block of text.
Yeah, you see them all the time. You don't really want to read them. It's as if they have like something they copy off of and they just tweak it a little bit. If you compare the two, they're identical. But anyway, normally that's just the types of comments I get. Flat Earth comments, they aren't too bad. I got one saying that I should delete my channel for I embarrassed myself even more, but I don't really care because if I get any hateful, like really hateful comments, that just makes me happy because obviously I'm doing something right, and I think it aggravates them even more. That someone who's probably like half their age is debunking their beliefs, so that just makes me happy.
Definitely, like I actually welcome the hateful comments. You know, if I get a hateful comment, as you said, you're doing something right.
Yeah, so normally I just brush away those type of comments because they don't really mean a lot.
So what do you think of Flat Earth Perth's comment on Flat Earth is not suitable for minors?
Yeah, I personally think that's ridiculous because I think as long as you understand what Flat Earth is about, and you understand what the Flat Earth mindset is and what type of logic, well,
or lack thereof.
I say logic, but what type of method they go by, and you understand what the true science actually is behind it, then yeah, I think that's all you really need to talk about the Flat Earth.
I agree. Some people that are really young, you know, you've got people that are 11 who has already graduated university or something like that, and they're way smarter than, you know, people like flat earthers. Anyway, thanks for coming on.
Flat Earth. Yeah, that's okay.
I need a cool transition for news stories here, don't I? So the next story is Red's Rhetoric has decided to stop making videos about flat earth. So in a live stream he did, he said that there's already enough people debunking flat earth and that he wanted to do something else, which is, it's understandable. I like making other videos besides flat earth as well. He also mentioned Young Blue Skeptic on that live stream. I'm pretty sure he's not trying to send hate to him, so I don't really have much to say for this, but I hope Red's Rhetoric does well with his new content. I need a cool transition for news stories here, don't I? So last month I talked about Donald Trump's Space Force idea. And there's people that think that what's going on is Donald Trump's trying to put pressure on NASA. You see, the Trump supporters that are flat earthers want to think that Donald Trump knows that the earth is flat and that he's gonna expose the lie. So what they're saying is that Donald Trump's telling NASA to stop focusing on climate change and focus on space travel. And apparently this will cause NASA to be exposed because NASA will be unable to pull it off. And if this is true, then Donald Trump is an even bigger idiot than I thought, because CGI. You know, if we do land on the moon again, flat earthers are just going to say, oh, that's CGI. Anyway, next story. I need a cool transition for news stories here, don't I? So I just want to end on something that's absolutely hilarious. Flat earthers came up with an idea that we live in a Pac-Man-like universe. At a recent Flat Earth conference, they coined this thing Pac-Man theory, where space-time at Antarctica or something like that wraps around and you end up back on the other side. Kinda like in the game Pac-Man. And I think that any reasonable person would probably apply both Hitchens' razor and Occam's razor to that. But I think that this just goes to show how deep into their ass they must be reaching to pull this shit out. Anyway, that's it for this month's episode of Flat Earth News. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you like that video. And leave a comment letting me know what you think of the Flat Earth news this month. And if you want to tell me about Flat Earth news that you find, you can always do so by joining my Discord server, link is in the description. And if you want to support me, you can support me on Patreon, link is also in the description. But anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Between you and me, thank you for watching.